get cooking. All right, so this is our traffic call here, the fourth Thursday. We're coming to the end of October here, so we got a couple months left to come out strong this year. And we got Anthony here going to be talking a little bit about traffic today, and we were just kind of laughing a little bit before I got the recording started here about Frank Kern now as a Facebook expert and his new ploy. And I'll let Anthony tell you guys about that and kind of go over his strategy, because it fits exactly what we're doing. You know, Frank's doing it, everybody's doing it. All the ones that are successful are doing it, so it's time for you all to join the bandwagon.
So, exactly. And so this is kind of a good case study. So basically, Frank Kern has sent out an email. You know, he's big on his email list. At least that's where I got it from, and I'm sure there's Facebook ads that connect to it. But, you know, he sent out an email basically, and the headline was, you know, I'm going to show you how to do Facebook ads. He's promising the easy button to Facebook ads. And again, as a business owner, we want that easy button. And you know, I think he had 3 simple steps in that you can do it. So again, that concept of 3 simple steps, a definitive number, so you kind of know how much work it's going to take you to do. So you click on that, and he drops you into it. You know, it's no opt-in on it. So again, John talks about, in that program we talk about content-based, educational-based marketing. This is also an example that he's giving you free content. He's giving you an education on how to do Facebook ads easily and quickly. And there's no opt-in, there's no money, no cost in it to you at all. So it's a low barrier of entry. You just click it, you click on the link in the email, and it drops you in. Now, one of the things I noticed is he's doing tracking and retargeting on the emails, and you can do that. It's been available and usable for a long time. We have campaigns with that. So if you're not familiar with that, you need to know you can actually do retargeting to people inside of an email. You can send somebody an email. You can set up the backlink with the retargeting pixel information in it. When they click on it, you can get retargeted. So that's capable, and I'll tell you how he got me in that same process. But we clicked in. I saw his video, and it's a short video. So the video, the meat and potatoes, was probably 5 minutes. He had a 5-minute segment in the beginning. And one of the things, you know, I'll say this too, because it's Frank and because we know him, he does not spend any time introducing himself. And at the event last week, I showed a funnel that kind of walks you through that. And what the concept is once you're known and once you're doing this process, you continue the story. You do little video ads, specifically these video ads, and you're walking people down the path, and the next ad you do, you don't have to start over. You're following the story. So you're picking out your problems you have, your solutions, and you're doing one by one by one. And so the videos can address that. So in this one, he didn't introduce himself or anything. We already know him. And he basically said, hey, you know, you want to learn how to do Facebook video ads and quick and simple, I'll show you. And he kind of walked through it. That was 5 minutes. Then, and in this, he's like, you can get my course, my training course on Facebook video ads for free. And he's leading you through, I'll tell you that in a minute, I'll tell you that in a minute. Well, at minute 6, he starts going into it, and he's leading you to his Frank Kern Inner Membership course, a $400 a month course. And that's how you get that Facebook ads training free. And he spends the next 10 minutes telling you the benefits of his Inner Circle course, you know, over the shoulder, you get all this different stuff and building value, all that typical stuff that goes with that. But what I want you guys to understand and see is that he used education-based marketing. He used a Facebook ad with a low barrier of entry. He got us in there. And then because he was doing the retargeting, what happened to me was I watched the video, and damn near 3 minutes after I stopped watching the video, I got an email. And the email said, hey, I noticed you watched the video, but you didn't register. Do you want to register again? So all that came, and I saw it in the coding when I clicked on the link, so I knew it was coming, but it was really fast. It was like 3 minutes after I finished watching that damn video. I'm like, but you know, he was retargeting through the email. And at that point, again, he had built up some level of you know, trust and confidence that if I was a business owner, I might consider all this value he was offering and jump into his $400 a month little course and go down the line. Not knowing, you know, us knowing that Frank is not a Facebook marketing expert and all that good stuff. he's just a marketing expert. So the quality of what he's probably going to be offering would be minimal to me. But that was interesting to see. So he literally email to a video ad. Video ad was free, content based, offer at the back of that, and then he's coming back and retargeting me. And I have no doubt that tomorrow I'll have another email and down the rest of his email sequence till I.
He not only retargeted you, he knew you didn't buy too.
Yeah, exactly. So he, and last meeting I talked about that pixel, and that's how you have that ability to notice stuff by putting that pixel on your site. And there's some little things you do to it, but he knew I went to one page, but he knew I didn't go to the second page. And he had in his autoresponders email sequence follow-up process that if I only went to one page, I get this set of notices. If I had went and bought this thing, I would have got a whole different set of emails saying, welcome to the club. And I'm sure he would have one or two more upsells involved in that because that's just what we do is a couple of upsells. But he's got it segmented out, and all that functionality, all that capability is because you have the Facebook pixel on your properties. I won't just say your site because if you're doing a landing page or whatever, it's on your property. So you'll want to make sure, like I said last time, put that on there now, and it'll start tracking data. And then when you're ready to use it, it'll already have some information to use and be ready for you. So we wanted to kind of share that with you and let you know. And then also, John, I wanted to tell you the method he showed is a method that's being talked about for the last month and a half. We've actually done some testing on it. And what I was going to talk to everybody today about, I was going to talk to everybody about layering. We do a process of layering. And layering basically means, we've talked and looked at inside of Facebook, you can target individuals by interest, demographic type of stuff, behavioral type of influence. A lot of times people do a couple of those. And we tell everybody we do 40 to 50 of them. And how we get to those, and at the event, I show people actually how we get to the 40 and 50 and the process that we do 40 and 50, and we become very laser focused. And then what we actually do is we actually, I'm going to see if I can load up my presentation here, and I'm going to try to skip through parts of it. And I'll show you guys on the screen this layering process because it goes in line with ACT. It goes in line with finding your ideal avatar. It goes in line with identifying them and knowing all that information. So let me see if I can find this really quickly and speed through it. Presentations, looking at the wrong folder, okay. Not that one. This is what I get for not planning this out ahead of time. Okay, I found it. So guys, I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to show you the layering process that we utilize in order to target. And keep in mind, this is part of the follow-up with, it goes with the ACT process. And we call it our quick buy audience, and it's designed to target aware consumers. Can everybody see this? Wave your hand or something, let me know you can see this, and it's big enough because my screen's real tight. So basically, and I'm going to turn this on into the actual slideshow here. And so layering interest, basically we take layer one and we put in a group of interests. So these might be the demographic side. This might be age, location, some basic stuff like that. Then we go to layer two and we're going to put in some additional interests. And these interests will be along the lines of behavioral type of stuff, what they buy, what credit cards they use, behavior type of things. Then we'll take a third layer and we'll put some additional interests in there. And these interests will be things like, for example, in our space, we're going to target people that like Frank Kern. So people that like a certain, we work with a lot of coaches. So we'll ask, who's the leader in your coaching field? And we'll target like a John Assaraf, a Tony Robbins, and so people that like them. Now, what we also talk about is when you look at this avatar in the left there, these different segments, we're including people that are like either one or two layers. And that's one of the ways we fine tune it is, these different circles that overlap. And then we have the sweet spot that we actually target, which is this here, because that spot has an avatar that's interested in all three layers. So it's a highly, highly, highly engaged and aware prospect. And that's why we like to target that way. And that's why we get the maximum effect, because we're not just a couple of interests. We're not just a few interests. We're targeting all of them, and we combine them and say, you must like interest in one, and you must like interest in two, and you must like interest in three. So we're getting the best of all these different worlds. So that's what we normally do in our layering process. Now, there's another piece that you add on to that, and that's the conversion campaign. And the conversion campaign stuff has been going on, again, for a long, long time, too. It's very powerful. And Facebook basically lets you say, you can pick a desired outcome. And whether it's to make a sale made or getting a lead, any of the above outcomes, and you can target people that reach that outcome. So let's just, for simplicity's sake, in your funnel, someone buys your product. They've proven they're a customer by making a purchase. You now can tell Facebook to go find more people that purchase like that. And let's say I bought your product. So now they're going to find people that look like Anthony. And then the more people that buy, John buys it. Now they're going to find people that look like Anthony and John. And then Thomas buys Anthony and John. And more data points they get in there, the better they're able to refine and find out that person, that individual you're looking for. So you're literally training Facebook of who you want to target, and they're going to go find it for you. And the more you do it, we like to tell people, the longer you run the campaign, the better off that's going to work for you, and the better off that works and does that for you. So know that if you get this going, get the conversion campaign set up and get it running, it gets smarter, it gets better. And then what happens is your conversion rates go up because you're getting the right people you're targeting, and your costs go down. So it's definitely something you do long term, and it's been there. Now, in order to get that conversion number, Facebook likes to see quite a few people. You know, they like to see like 5 to 7 a week, somewhere around 50 or more, and then they start to really tune in and tweak in. So depending on this is why we talk about people when they say, how much do I need to start off with in testing and stuff? Depending where you're at, it may take you a while to get 50 sales, 50 lead opt-ins or something like that. And so it's going to take Facebook a while to learn your system. So the more money you put into testing up front, or the faster you get to your numbers, faster your conversion campaign starts to be more effective and powerful. So that's what we've been using and doing. Now, there's been some talk and some stuff going on out there, and we've actually done some testing. There's a new way people are doing it. I won't say new way. It kind of goes against what we're talking about a little bit. And they literally start off broad, very wide, and then they do a conversion campaign, and they let Facebook find these people for you. So you literally, let's just say, for example, you target all of Facebook's 2 billion people. As Anthony buys, now they're going to start looking for people like Anthony. John buys, they're going to start looking for people like John. Thomas buys. So the process is the same, but because you start off so wide, you really are targeting and going to get a lot of people that aren't even close to your market. So in our opinion, it's kind of a waste of money in the beginning, because a lot of your ads are going to show it to people that don't have any interest in it. And that's just how Facebook is using this to determine who. They're really waiting to find out who buys your product, or who opts in, or who takes the action you want to, and start optimizing for it that way. So you're going to see a lot of talk. You're going to see a lot of people. And John, that's kind of what he was talking about. That's that easy button. You'll see people saying, you don't have to have a great audience. You don't have to target very well, because you can target everybody and let Facebook determine who you want them to market to. And it's very true. But again, keep in mind in the beginning, since you're targeting a lot of people and you're not really very pointed at who you're targeting, you're going to be spending money on people that just have no interest in what you have. And it's just, in our opinion, it's not the most effective way. We've run a test and we got results with it. And next month, we're going to run a 30-day test to kind of confirm what we found. But there's a time and place for that, but it's not very helpful in a lot of cases we're finding. If that makes some sense. Hello, are you guys there? Okay, everybody's on mute. Can you hear me?
We're with you.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I see everybody looking there. And I'm like, okay.
Anthony?
Yes.
We are totally lost. Number one, what is a layer?
Okay.
Is that a group? Okay, you have this group that has 8 different interests, and then you have another group that has 10 other different interests. I mean, we're totally confused as to what you're talking about. Layered interests, layered groups, layered. And then, okay, I understand that. Yes, you want your avatar to have all the same interests. So how you're pulling from 3 different groups or whatever, no clue what you're talking about.
Those are
Okay,
audiences.
that's a good question. So I just want, I'm just writing down, make sure, and I'm getting ready to show you that. So that's what I want, guys. I need to know what you don't know, or what I go too fast, or what doesn't make sense. So yell it, stop me, whatever. I will go back and figure it out. So let me.
Aren't those audiences?
Correct.
Yeah, so those layers are Facebook audiences, and he's overlapping them. He's running like multiple audiences to one ad campaign.
Oh,
that analogy needs to be put in the presentation.
yeah. Facebook audience is a specific layer.
Well, a better definition. So that what I'm showing you on the left-hand side is a Facebook audience. And inside the Facebook audience, and I'm gonna go on Facebook and show it to you, most people pick 1 or 2 interests when they're targeting people, when they're building the audience. So let me go inside of Facebook and build one pull one up real quick here. And don't you guys be, oops, wrong person. Don't you guys be getting all my passwords now. There we go. Let's see if we can find somebody. We'll go here.
Just give us your bank password, Anthony. That's all we want.
If I find a bunch of kid toys and stuff, Gretchen, I know where that comes from. All right, so I'm going to pull up a brand new Facebook account that has nobody, nothing on it. So I'm coming in through, this is Ads Manager. So never mind how I got here necessarily, but this is Ads Manager. And I go in and build an audience first. So up here at the top left, it says Ads Manager. You hit the drop down and you get, normally if you don't, these are your favorite spots, the first 4. If you don't see what you're looking for, you can hit all tools and it'll split out and give you the rest. So we're gonna build an audience here. So I'll go on audiences. And we're building a saved audience, and a saved audience is just an audience you plan to use later, and you can set the parameters for. You can see I got one that's already business owners over age 30 to 55, and I got some targeting and stuff like that I was doing. So this is an audience that later on, if I'm running a campaign to business owners, I already got the audience set up and I can run. And usually, you know, each client has different parameters and stuff I set up, so I usually name it a little better than that. Dominate or test audience. So the first piece of a campaign is just the demographical settings of, you know, where they're located. So United States, for this example, United States, the age, the gender, the language. Generally speaking, I do want you guys to realize that in the languages, there's a English all, there's an English UK and an English US. So again, depending what you're doing, you might use all or US. A lot of times, if you're selling a product, an informational product, something like that, you can go even UK because the English reads the same and it's a document, that type of stuff like that. But just know if you just put in English, it'll do 2 different types of English. So we'll do English in here. Now, what we were talking about is this targeting section. And the targeting section, you can target by demographics, interests, or behaviors. Can you see that, Barb? You're muted, Barb. Barb and Gay, you're muted. Say something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just very, very, very tiny.
Yeah, if we get it.
Hang on, let me see if I can control what, Thomas? Thomas says I can, oh. Hang on, guys. Dang it. Well, that got all huge. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Okay, this may work.
Or much better.
Much better.
Yes,
Okay.
we can actually see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
You know, I got this crazy high resolution screen down. So I'm in the detailed targeting section here.
Okay.
And this is where a lot of people will target a few things. So let's say we're targeting Frank Kern. So people will target Frank Kern. And what'll happen is as you start typing, it'll try to pre-fill and it'll tell you how many people. So people that like Frank Kern, there's 847,000 of them. So you would add that in there. And then, you know, we add multiple ones in there. We'll keep adding interests in there. So Frank will be one. Come on. Damn it. Didn't want to Frank Kern. Another guy will enter his, oh, what an idiot I am. Neil Patel. Another guy, let's see, what's his name? Ryan. So a lot of people do start doing this and they'll stop at a few. We do 40 or 50 of them. And so now what happens is the way this is set up now, this says anybody who's including that match at least one of the following. So it's going to target anybody who likes either Frank Kern or Neil or Ryan Dice. So that's a very broad but not very specific audience. So what we do next is we hit this narrow audience and we do an ad. So now we're saying they must like one of these three and they must like a next category. And then we'll put the next category in, and now we'll talk about business owners, small business owners. We might add in entrepreneur, T-R-E-P. Okay, we won't do that because I can't spell that, but we might do, well, I got business owners. I'm just trying to find one that match it real quick. All right, even association, we do stuff with associations too. Obviously, that'd be business owners. So now our targeting criteria, they must like one of these three guys up here and like this. So we're getting a little fine tuner. We go further and we do a third one, and that was what we were saying with the third one. So now we might add in some behaviors, and we might look down to
Much better.
What's that?
That is much better of a presentation. Now we understand what you're talking about.
Makes a lot more sense now.
All right, so basically we're gonna put in 15 in the first category. They got like one of the first 15. 15 in the second category. They got like one of the first 15, one of the first 15, one of the second 15, and one of the third 15. So that's that sweet spot where they overlap and stuff. And so we're saying this person is so specific that they're a member of these different circles. And that's one of the differences. We go a lot of audience, a lot of interest. All this comes from ACT. So you'll get into ACT, and John asks, and the questions will be, what organizations do they belong to? You can see the National Association of Women Business Owners. So you can start to target stuff like that. They can be, you know, charitable organizations. We can get in there to job titles where they can be CFOs, you know, so you can do job titling type of stuff. So you really, that first part of ACT, identifying avatar, is so critical, because you cut and paste and dump all that stuff into here and let Facebook put it. Now, there's another piece of the strategy that we use that a lot of people don't do, and I'm going to see if I can do it with this expanded screen of here of mine, because this is not what I used to do. Let me see here. So one of the things we'll do is we'll go to a page, and we will, so this is a Facebook page. So, and actually, you know what, a better page, let me find a better page. Let's do this. I got to get to it through my personal.
Anthony, can I ask you a question on that other stuff that you're on before, though, a second? Because is there a mark where your audience gets too low? Because I noticed when I'm doing it and I'm detailing down, my audience gets smaller and smaller. And so what is that threshold that you want to have? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, there really is not an easy number for that, because it kind of depends on on your niche and market. For example, Gretchen, I know your product isn't local based, but if you were like the wife has a day spa, so her market is not going to be nationwide. It is going to be a smaller number. So her number might be 5,000 people within a 50-mile radius of her type of thing. With your product, you know, because it can be sent to people and stuff like that, and they can view it that way, you want to go bigger. But if it gets too small, too fine, you do want to open it up a little bit. because what you're looking for is your budget and frequency. So for example, if you got a small number and you put in $1,000 and you're getting clicks, you know, your impressions are seen at $1, that means your ad's gonna be seen 1,000 times. With a small number of people are gonna see it more than once. And Facebook tracks that number, and when that frequency number gets too high, when people see the same ad too often, Facebook starts to charge you more money for that or show it less because you're not giving the users a good experience. You're repeating something to them. So we kind of monitor it there. We look at, okay, the frequency, and the frequency, you got to kind of find where it's at. But when you find it and it starts getting up to 3 and 4, we immediately go in and change and put a new ad in place because it's being seen too often by the same people. They're not responding to it.
Okay.
So as a guideline, a frequency rate of 3 or 4 is too high, and you'll want to go in and immediately change that ad to another ad.
Does that change hold true if you target different areas? So like if you have an ad, let's say it works well in Northern California, and then you go do it to Southern California, or you do it in the Midwest. Do they, if it was a successful ad, but it's targeted somewhere else, does that factor into the algorithm or not?
Well, it factors in on how you're switching those campaigns and how you're using the pixel. Like for us, we actually, when we get a campaign that works, we duplicate that campaign, and then we change the parameters in it. So the existing it's a separate new campaign because really it's a new area. Northern California and Southern California are probably going to be two different people, so to speak.
Right.
So we would actually segment, duplicate that campaign, change the parameters in campaign number 2, and run it on its own separate and get data for that specifically.
Okay, so I wouldn't be dinked for something like that.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
What was that, Thomas?
You could look at the audience overlap you have between audience.
And Thomas was giving me some other insight. So I know my personal real quick, and I'm just going to show you how we the other additional method. And this is kind of what do we look up, Thomas? Was it national?
Can I ask a quick question, Anthony?
Yeah.
So to get all of that, you were at Audience Insights. Is that correct?
I was actually building an audience. You could do it in Audience Insights, but I will tell you the data you get from Audience Insights and audiences are different.
Okay, when you're building the audience, where are you going differently then? Because that was my understanding, is that to build the audience, you went to Audience Insights. What was it that you used to create the audience? Where specifically?
Okay, let me see if I can, again, with this magnified screen, it's magnifying more stuff than I'm used to. So let's see if I can find this. So normally you're going to come into Facebook, and keep in mind, guys, this is magnified, so it's a lot more. This piece is missing on the side of the screen. But you come into Audience Ads Manager, and Ads Manager, it wants to start you with your objectives. I go build my audience first. So actually, I'll back up, and this is our actual process. I literally will open up my Notepad document. I'll go up here to Audiences, and I'll go to All Tools because I'm not in Insights, and I'll go to Audience Insights.
Stop right.
Okay. I'll go back a step.
Okay. I was at Audience Insights and my page. Okay. Where were you just a little while ago? Because now your page looks totally different. You're at a different location than where you were when you were building the audience.
This is Audience Insights. So I go to Audience. Yeah.
I get that. Where were you?
I was in Audiences.
That's where I'm asking.
Okay.
Where did you go there? Go back. Yeah, click on that and show me where the audience is.
Because now, like I said, when you click on that, it'll show your 4 frequently used options.
All tools. Click on all tools and show me where to find that.
Under assets.
Okay. No, we weren't. We were at a different place.
Pixels is over here too, by the way. So under assets, audience, your image library, you can upload images so you can reuse them, and then your pixels. These are 3 we use the most over here.
Okay, so you have to create an ad.
Well, no, I don't create. Yeah, you click create an ad.
Wait. Go back, please.
Okay, back to audience.
I'm trying to follow you, and what I'm seeing is totally different. So click on audiences. Okay, and where are you going from there? Where did you go?
Create audience right here. Hit the drop down.
Oh, and a custom audience?
We were making a saved audience in this particular case.
What's the difference between a custom audience and a saved audience?
So a custom audience, and I'll click on that in a second. I'll give you the three audiences and then I'll show you each one. So a custom audience, you feed Facebook the information you want them to find for you, and they'll create a custom audience based on information you give them. So last time I told you guys you want to create a custom audience of all your contacts and a second custom audience of all your customers. That's where you do it at. And so what you would do is you go to audiences, and I know you guys are writing, so I'm going slow because I see you writing. Yeah. So go to audiences, create audience, custom audience, and now Facebook's going to ask you, what do you want to do? We generally use the top two. Customer file, that's when you give it information. Website traffic is where you get it from your pixel. And then for those of you guys who are going to write an app or have an app, you can track how many people download your app and all that good stuff too. So now they've added this engagement one, and this, again, I don't want to get too deep in all these right now. For now, the customer file is the one you'll want to do. If you got a customer database, you would click on that, and you can add customers from a spreadsheet, like a CSV Excel spreadsheet or something like that, or you can enter them in from a MailChimp. And this new LTV, lifetime value, we again won't get into that right now. I normally put them in from a cut and paste. So I add customers from my own file, and basically it's going to ask me what I want to do. So I can upload a file, a CSV or a text file, or I can copy and paste. So let's say I would do Anthony. Come on, computer, keep up. My computer's not keeping up with me today. Let's see if I can cut and paste something. Anthony at Gmail. Okay, at Gmail. Space here. Barb at Bloombo Vision. And I know I spelled it wrong. So you put these in. And so Facebook, and you want to put in at least 100. And so what Facebook is going to do is they're going to take all these emails and try to find these emails in their database, and they'll put them in an audience for you. So last time I told you, take all your contacts and put all your contacts in first, because they're cold, they're warm because you know them, and then you'll send them a campaign based upon that. Then take all your customers and build another audience. So this is audience number 2 of all your customers. And you'll talk to them slightly different because they've already bought your product. They know who you are, that kind of stuff. And keep in mind, you can also add to these too. So as you get more business cards from people, you can come back in, add the new names in there, and you can keep building up and keep building up. So once you put them in there, you give it a name, and I would do like, this is all contacts. And I would create it and hit next, and Facebook would try to create that audience, and they would save one for you, and they would do that. And I can show, so that's custom audience. You can do it with emails, and you can do it with phone numbers. They have all these different identifiers, but really the two that they care about and use, you can do it with emails and phone numbers. So the other thing I tell clients to do is, as you start getting sales from people, start asking for that contact email and start putting it into your client one when they convert and buy stuff, because you'll want to build, you're training Facebook. Again, it's always about training Facebook. And so as people buy from you and you put their information in there, Facebook's going to get another data point to try to bring it to measure and say, okay, Anthony bought from Gay, so let me find people like him and add him to her master list of her customer profile. So that's custom audience. Now, let's say I put in 100 emails, and what we find happening is if you put in about 100 emails, they're going to find 80 of them. Because some people have multiple emails and stuff like that, so it's got to be the same email that they use to log into Facebook. So sometimes Facebook they don't find all of them, but they find 80 of them. So it'll create you an audience of 80 of your contacts. What you then can go do is you go to the second group and you create a lookalike audience. So now you're going to tell Facebook, I got a group of 80 customers. Go find me more people that match those 80. And that's how you do that function in here and in this. So what you would do is you would choose a page or your grouping that you have in here, and I got it way too much and stuff. You would tell it a location, all United States, and then you would tell it the size. And what you're doing here with this audience size piece is you're telling Facebook that how close of a measure, how close do you want me to be? We like to use 1%, so everybody is going to be very highly thing. As you go out further, you're going to get a wider audience, but they're not going to match your clients as well. Does that make sense? You're going to get more people. Facebook is going to get a little looser with the requirements and say, okay, you want a bigger audience. Well, they're not going to, instead of them being 80%, they're going to be about 60%. They're going to be about 40%. So as you get going out here, they're not quite as closely related to your ideal audience you put in there. So we generally use 1%. And Facebook will try to find you about 2 million people. So it'll give you a new audience of about 2 million individuals based on that. So that's a lookalike audience. This is one of the areas we scale. So to Gretchen's point, when you create an audience like this and you've saturated your small group, we'll go to a lookalike audience and we'll expand it out. Again, I know it's not as tailored and as fine-tuned as you want to, but also, like I said before, we can train Facebook to find the right people. So this is an area where we scale. We will take it out a little further right here and get a little wider audience, but not quite as targeted. And that's one way of we scaling. And then the last audience that what we were playing at was the saved audience. And saved audience is basically you take all these different interests, behaviors, and demographic information, and you build an audience based upon that. And that's how you're going to use that. Make sense? We good? Barb?
Much better. Sorry.
Yes,
much
thank
better.
you.
And again, guys, I'm happy to do it. You just got to tell me where you're getting stuck at, or where I go too fast or something. So please, this is what it's for. Now I was going to show you another spot where we get interest, and I'm gonna go back to that real quick. So what we do in this particular case, I got to go through my personal account to get there to show you this process, but Success Magazine. So we'll target again. Let's say that again because we're targeting the business owner. So we'll go to Success Magazine's page, and what we'll do is, as soon as Facebook catches up with me, come on, Facebook. All right. On pages that are relevant to my niche that I want to, we'll go to this section here on the right, and I'm gonna see if I can scroll it, expand it a little. Oops, go the other way. Ah, crud. See here on this right-hand side, let me move you guys. See on this right-hand side, pages liked by this page.
Oh, yeah.
I write all those down in a notepad document. So I go Happify, Darren Hardy. And so I'll take all these pages and I'll go back into that audience section and enter these in as additional interests. So does that make sense? I'm targeting people that like Success Magazine page because that's the page I'm on, and I'm finding other pages that Success Magazine likes with the concept of they're going to like and connect with relevant pages. So if people like Success Magazine, they're probably going to like Darren Hardy, who I know is in the motivational space. And I know John Wooden, who's a former basketball coach, but he's also in the motivational space too. So this is kind of a secret way that a lot of people aren't telling you how we find some additional interest. So we'll take these different names and we'll come back over to that saved audience. And we get to the section of the interests. I will put those interests in there, and I'll type in Darren Hardy, but because I spelled it wrong. But I found him because he was relevant and liked by one of the pages that I'm tracking. If that makes sense. That's how I find some of these additional categories and some of these additional interests. And that allows us to build up to get to this huge number of interests. Where did it go? These 40 to 50 different interests. That's how we build them up. So does that make, are we good there?
Much, much better. Thank you very much.
Gwen? So that's a little bit about the different audiences. That's a little about the layering concept. And again, all that layering comes from ACT. So as you go through ACT, this just shows you how valuable all those different pieces of getting all that information, it becomes available for you. And this is why it takes a little longer sometimes, or why people are, management people are charging to create this. This is why we do it. And this is, when I look at people's campaigns and do audits, usually what I find is they just haven't done a good job of targeting. It kind of comes back to people that are non-ACT definitely don't have enough categories, but people that even do ACT, they just haven't dug deep enough and known to do more of this. And Facebook just provides this information, so we just take advantage and use the heck out of it. Now, I can also show you guys real quickly what it looks like on, let me see if I can find the audiences. I just did one for somebody, these guys. So these guys sent me 2,000 email addresses to start building. And again, it's also a quick start if you don't really have your avatar and stuff dialed in. This is a fast start, especially if you're an existing business and you got customers or you got contacts. I was able to take their existing list of emails they provided for me. And this, so you can also see how I listed, this was from the brokers, from their client email list. And it found, out of the 2,000, it found 1,300 of those people are in Facebook. So we'll market to them, those people with the common message. Hey, I'm Anthony, your broker, and I'm doing something new. Come check out what I have new. Then I went and created right above it the lookalike audience. So the lookalike audience came off of this list of 1,300, and Facebook found me 2 million other people that very closely resemble these 1,300. So now I got a second list of people that, at least bought insurance, because the first 1,300 bought insurance. So these other 2 million people are going to be insurance, people that value insurance. This is for an insurance company. So these are going to be people that value insurance, basically. And so now, again, we'll come to them and say, hey, we got an insurance product, blah, 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 whatever, where I want to. But I immediately got 2 quick audiences without having to do a lot of work and can jumpstart something immediately for these guys. And it's all Facebook providing all this data for us. Sound good? Now, I had something else I was going to share with you guys, and I didn't create a presentation, so I'm going to attempt to walk you guys through it, ask questions and stuff, and all this stuff I'm putting together content for John to put in the membership group, so it will be available to see at a later time and date, but these are things that I just thinking I got to get them on my head and get them on a presentation for you guys. I want to kind of describe a beginning ad campaign you guys can start getting your mind prepared for and start wanting to create. And it's going to involve video ads, and there's a lot of reasons for using the video ads. Some of the biggest reasons is the video ads going to let us utilize some of the stuff I just was talking about with you guys. And so what it's going to be is a 2-stage process. It's literally 2 campaigns you're going to create. And they also follow the ACT guideline of education-based marketing. So what you're going to do on your first video ad is this just going to be pure, and actually it's literally what Frank Kern just did to me today too, is you're going to just provide value, content. It's an ad based on something of value to your audience. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give, it's going to probably be like a minute video, and it's going to be 5 ways Facebook video ads can help you grow your business. And I'm just going to get on there for a minute and give 5 quick tips of how people can take Facebook video ads and use them to grow their business. Now, I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm not going to ask for an opt-in or anything like that. I'm just giving content, educating the public, letting them know. However, Facebook tracks video engagement. So I can measure how often what percentage someone watches that video. And let me show you guys that. I can actually show you an example that we did. Thomas, who do we got where we did video engagement for a copy of character? Okay. So we did a video engagement campaign for this individual. And again, my screen's so big, so I'm gonna have to slide things around. So under the performance column here, you can hit the drop down and you can do video engagement. And so in a video, it's going to tell me some different parameters. So we're looking at this top campaign here, and what we're seeing is, oh crap, I know I gotta change the date. Hang on, I was like, there's no data. I was freaking out for a hot second there, guys, but the date range, that was the problem. Okay, so I changed it. So what you can see here is that this ad was shown 8,000 times, 2,600 times. People watched it 3 seconds or less. And it cost us 2 cents for those people to see it 3 seconds or less. Almost 700 people watched it 10 seconds, at least 10 seconds of it. And it was costing us 6 cents for that. Reach and impressions are different. Impressions can include people that'll see it more than once. Reach is one time, so that's why the numbers will be different. Impressions, a couple of people saw it more than once. Reach is just the one-time viewing. So 7,000 people reached it. We spent $41 in it. And here's what we do. So this is the percentage of people that watched the video over 25%. So we had 98 people watch it 25%. 74 people watch it 50%. 59 watch it 75, 47 watch it 95, and 37 watch it 100%. So what we like to do is we like to take people that watched it 75% and higher. So we like to take these 59 people and put them in a new audience. And what we're doing is they watch my video, 5 tips of how to use Facebook, and they watch 3/4 of it. So there's got to be some interest, or you wouldn't sat there and watched it, because you see people get off at 3 and 10 seconds. So we now move those people into a new audience, and then we send them the second ad, the second video ad. So this is the part 2 of that process. The second ad, now you're going to give value, and like I said earlier, you can continue the story because you introduced them to you in the first one. So this is the second part of the story. So you don't have to spend time introducing and telling your story over again. You can jump right into it, give them some value, and then make them an offer. We find this works good for people, especially for coaches like Gretchen and stuff you do, because if people don't know you, they're not going to buy anything from you. It's hard to compare, especially we get a lot of coaches in the motivational space. So they're going to know Tony Robbins' name and all the big hitters. So why should they buy someone with a smaller name? Well, the first video ad, you gave them content and people watched it. And now you're just sending your ad to the people that showed a high level of engagement. So your odds are a little better. Now, this is a starter campaign, and this is really just to get you going. But in that second video ad, now you can do we like to do a soft offer. Hey, you know a little bit about me. I showed you a little bit of stuff. Come buy my $19 course or ebook or whatever program. So we like to use like that. So 2 steps. The first video ad is strictly content, and it's strictly just to measure people out and pull out of the system people that are interested in what you have to offer. And then the people that are interested in what you have to offer, now we come back and show them another ad, and now we make our soft sale. And we offer them something.
So Anthony, so those 59 people there, how do you snag that audience right there, and where do you put them from here?
Okay, so what I would do is I would go back to custom audiences again. And I would go to custom audience, the first one. and they're going to be ones. Actually, they're going to be ones off of engagement. We can actually do website traffic or engagement, but we would probably come off engagement, and then you go in there and you're going to tell video. See, and it walks you through it pretty easily. It's like create a list of people that spent time watching your videos on Facebook. And we'll go in there and we'll choose the content, which will be, see the different parameters here?
Uh-huh.
We like to pick higher, 75, 95. We like to go that high. Now, keep in mind, that was I didn't show you the window, but that campaign only ran like a week, so it didn't go very long.
So how is it pulling from that precise campaign? Because you have a lot of campaigns, and was it pulling directly from that campaign only, or all your campaigns that had 70% at 5% and over?
You have to choose it. So the first parameter you choose was the percentage. Now I choose the video.
Okay.
And actually, here's the thing. You guys won't have this, but this is actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, this is a different person. This is a different campaign. Because I manage a bunch, it's pulling up all. So it gives me the ability to pull everybody that I deal with. And it's a lot. So you guys having your own, it should pull right up there. Because this is not the video. I just know this is not the video that went with that.
So if it wasn't there, you'd find it from the drop down?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you guys, if you have more than one up there, then you're doing what I'm doing and not. I would think you don't have the. Let me find Terica, and I could actually find hers. Okay. And we actually have done multiple videos for her, but we could pick one of the different videos we want to use.
So that was the campaign you were just in with this gal here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And that particular video is actually this 5-minute one I want. So, you know, she had a 5-minute video, and 60 people watched 3 minutes of that bad boy. So you got to assume there's some high level of engagement if they watched that much of that video. They weren't bored by it. Something caught their attention. So now when you come back and market to them again, she should continue her story. Hey, I'm Terica. You met me just a little while ago, and I told you my story. Now I want to reach out and help you. Come join my weekly mastermind course or whatever course, blah, 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 whatever she's offering. And she can go with that. She can start with that part of the story now. And all the only people that are seeing that particular video ad are the people that have watched the first ad, 75% of it. So nobody else will see it but those individuals. Now this is part of, we have an advanced strategy that goes, 2 more parts of a strategy that go on top of this. But what I wanted you guys to get was, this is a great starting point for you guys because it's fast, easy, and it works. All of you guys can do video. All you guys, we talk about all the time the education-based thing. So all you guys understand and know, come out with give some tips, give some value, give that first video, just give with no offer. And then let Facebook come back behind and track that information for you. And now you can come back and market to these people. And now they know you, and hit them with that second offer. In our advanced one, we actually do 3 videos. We keep segmenting down. We take this to that level. So video 1, 95% gets to see video 2. 95% gets to see video 3. So by the time you get to video 3, you have been whittled down to super high engagement. You really must want what I have to offer because you've watched 3 freaking videos 95% of the time. Then we make the offer at you at that point. That's how we do it especially for someone in coaching, or especially where it's a crowded field and you've got to separate yourself from people. You've got to let people know who you are, and they don't have a clue who you are. So you get we like to get 3 videos, high content. And again, I'm picking on Frank Kern, but it's something he does. He says he gives 95% of his stuff away and charges you for the last 10%. That's kind of what we're doing. We're giving 95% of it away in these 90% away in these 3 videos, and then we're going to charge you for to complete the journey. So that's our advanced one, and that's level 2 of that. Then there's a 3rd level. We won't even get into that because I don't want to hit you guys with too much just yet. But do we understand how comfortable with me? What kind of questions do we have with this concept? I think, John, what you can do to folks, getting ready for traffic is this will be a good starting point. Have them make that first video ad. Have them give away some. And Barb, I know you do the coaching, so again, and with the coaching too, getting people going along that line. Say, when we're getting ready for traffic, let's do this. Let's create this first video ad piece. Let's make it content. The length can be long or short. The real key to it is going to be, is it good information? Is it valuable? And the words I like to say, make it valuable to your avatar. Sometimes when I talk to people, they think, oh, this is important. And I'm like, that's only important to you. Your avatar wants something else, so give them what they want. Make it of value to them. So you can have them start with this campaign and do this. And then, of course, we'll get in there and help you guys set up and show, all these other technical bits of it. And then set up the second video. And the second video becomes your soft offer, and it can lead, and clicking on that can lead to the landing page now from your soft offer.
Yeah, this is helpful, Anthony, to go through this level of detail and to watch it happen step by step. Even some of the things like that Barb slowed you down on and said, hey, or Gay or whatever, just, said, hey, stop, go here. Where's that going? That kind of stuff is so helpful, I think. Just those little detailed steps and connecting the dots on everything, on where it goes. So that's cool. Did you say you're making a video on this?
Yes, I'm putting together videos on it. The weird, see, I don't have a curriculum laid out, guys, so I'm just kind of introducing you to stuff. And what happened was I was talking to a client, and they were like, where do I start? And she's in this field and stuff, and so this is the campaign for it. And so I was just talking to her yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay, this would be good to show you guys, because you kind of are in that same category. You're going to be starting out. And where do you start? What's a good, simple campaign to do that we know works, will get results, but not overly complicated, not overly hard to do or anything like that, and just to get going. So this is what we do for people, and I was like, okay, let me show you. So that's why there's nothing ready for it. I'm kind of doing it off the top of my head because I wasn't prepared for it. I had another campaign I was going to show you guys. I'm going to show you a $6 a day campaign, but that we can save that for another time unless you guys want more pain and punishment.
I love the information. I think it's fantastic. I actually have to jump off. I'm getting ready. I got to go take a shower, and I'm running to a conference. So I'm like, I'm sorry, because it's been so hard on Thursdays connecting with everybody, because I have so many things on Thursday. It's crazy. So I'm glad I was able to squeak in for a while today.
And guys, you have the forum and the group. So if there's something you want me to show you or look at, or you hear or see, write in. And again, if I can get it a little bit ahead of time, I can put together a presentation or something to answer those specific questions, those specific points for you. So again, don't mind doing that. I just need to know. If not, I'll try to have something going on, to kind of introduce you guys to a few different elements and stuff. And I have no problem walking you guys through, going at whatever pace works for you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So huge help.
Thank you.
John, anything I missed or anything I want to hit?
No, that looked pretty good. That was a good rundown. Good stuff. We had a good crew on today too.
I'm glad. And guys, I love the questions. I now get it and understand what you. Is that Gracie?
That's not Gracie. That's a koala bear. What are you talking about? Oh, there's Gracie. There's Gracie. I thought that was a koala bear.
All right, bye, guys. Again, touch base if you got any questions or anything.
Thank you so much.
Hey, John, real quick. I'm gonna look through my emails to see if I can find what we were talking about earlier. What Frank's kind of somebody I'm following or something a couple of weeks ago sent out that product, and I've seen it before, and I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. So it might take me a day or so to track that information down and be able to find that. But I like that. I think it'll be a good thing to add to. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Now the other thing I was gonna say real quick, guys, what I had today. Keep in mind, John, I got a minimum type of campaign. Like I said, it's a $6 a day campaign that people can use, should be using. It's based upon, so Barb, when you're coaching people, it's based upon clients, people that have clients. that have reviews, testimonials, and it's a way to use the testimonials in an ad. So it's a campaign we believe should be run every day, all day. It's $6. It'll get you a couple more sales throughout the month. So it's not a high thing, but what it does is it utilizes the value of that social proof. You use the value of someone else speaking your praise to close a deal from somebody. So basically, it comes off retargeting people that have hit your site. You send them a testimonial type of ad, and like I say, you just run it consistently, and it'll pick up 1 or 2 more sales per month based on that.
All right, cool.
So we'll be putting some stuff together that matches that also.
All right, well, we will go ahead and I'll stop the recording here. We'll wrap up, and I'm going to be out in Las Vegas next week, so we will probably be dark next week, but we have 5 Thursdays, so we're not going to miss out. We're just going to push it out a little bit. So we'll come back on the 9th and do our strategy call. So we'll just kind of push them out a week there.
Okay.
So, all right, guys, we'll wrap up. And Gay's got a question.
Yeah, John, where are these videos posted?
Well, I got to send them to him first, and then he'll figure out where to put them.
No, I'm talking about the weekly act calls.
They're all on YouTube. There's a link on the Apprentice page.
Oh, okay.
If you log into the members area on the Apprentice page, it'll send you a link to the YouTube channel. I have a specific channel that they all get uploaded to, so makes it easy. And same thing with the Monday night calls. The Monday night calls are in a different channel on YouTube, so you guys can get access to them anytime.
And where is that link on the Apprentice page?
Is
it in the community or?
No, it's actually on the Apprentice page. If you log into the Apprentice section.
Okay. I have to remember where that one is. There are many logins, so okay.
Yeah, the Apprentice section has specific stuff just for the Apprentice members. And then the regular ACT page will have the Monday night videos on there. That will have a link to all the Monday movie nights.
Okay.
So, all right.